Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari. Well, it looks like we're going to have to sort of continue a bit like where we left off yesterday, because some additional information that has come out concerning the whole Dapchi abduction is what we'll be discussing today. And my guest is Dr. Luke Onyekekaya, of the editorial board of The Guardian. Thank you very much, Luke, for coming on.
Thank you. Good morning.
Indeed. We'll be joined shortly by a public affairs analyst, Ahmed Abbas. But in the meantime, now between the army and the police over about the Dapchi situation, there's become a whole argument. On the one hand, you know, the Nigerian army saying that it handed over Dapchi, you know, to the police in what it refers to as a peaceful and calm situation. Army's words, a peaceful and calm situation. But the army, as everybody would have read, the police, as everybody would have heard, is saying that the statement by the military is not correct, as there was no time that the military informed the police of its withdrawal or handed over its locations in Dapchi town to the police. So that's what we have. And that statement was from the Yobe State Commissioner of Police, Sumonu Abdul Maliki. What do we now make of this? Because it does look, some papers are saying that army admits withdrawing, you know, before the abduction. You can even understand the maybe apprehension that this sort of brings to the fore. Would it be justified, or is there something we're not understanding here? Because it looks like, you know, the police are saying, you can't blame us. Nobody should blame us. The army is saying, you can't blame us. Meanwhile, 110 girls are missing.
Yeah, thank you. Let me begin this. You know, there's a saying in my place, in Igbo. They say, if a people, they are going for hunting, if a people are going for hunting, but they didn't confer to agree on the modus operandi of the hunting expedition, that they will kill an animal that has no name. Now, here we have army and we have police. What is the difference between the army and the... For us as Nigerians, this is the security apparatus of the country. So anybody, the army staying on one side, pointing accusing finger on the police, and the police staying on the other side, pointing accusing finger on the army, is a big embarrassment.
Additionally, you recall, Dr. Luke, that the parents have also said that, or the missing girls have also said that we were not actually involved in the whole collation, and by our calculations, it is 105 of the girls that are missing, never mind 110. So it just looks like the whole thing is not exactly a concerted approach.
What the whole thing is showing is that there's no coordination.
Straight.
There is simply no coordination. The army is working on their own. The police is working on its own. There are other security outfits, DSS and others. It means that each of them is working on its own without coordination. Now, as far as I'm concerned and the world is concerned, there is war in the northeast of Nigeria. And until you see it from that perspective, that any day something untoward could happen. We have enemies called Boko Haram in the northeast fighting the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And until the war is declared ended, anything can happen. Because the enemy is always looking for a way to get the upper hand.
Yeah.
That is the point. So the federal government and its security outfit should not at any point in time take anything for granted. Because once you take anything for granted, including there are students in schools all over the place, you take things for granted that they are secured, then this kind of thing will happen.
But as you put it, Luke, the agencies of government and in this case, we're talking about the security agencies of government, for some reason, as you pointed out, are working, it would appear to us on the outside looking in, as on their own. Whereas it's been said that interdepartmental rivalry to some extent might be expected, but by the time it gets as a negative as this, where the left hand of security doesn't know what the right hand of security is doing, or there are arguments about it, and the victims themselves taking their own tally and saying that what those people have put out there, we don't even understand. Talking about the parents of the girls now saying to us that our count is 105. I don't know with the 5 extra. You know, they give us a breakdown of how they arrived at the figure. And the parents themselves are saying that, well, we know that, 105 of our kids are missing. We've seen this disparity in approach between the security arms in the political sphere, as you recall. Remember the whole EFCC headship affair and contradictory reports going on. Now this is out of the, well, it's still part of the security, but at least perhaps not as closely linked as between SSS and DSS was it we were thinking about at that time. Now we have the police and the army. What do you think the problem is in bringing all these guys who have a common purpose, I believe, to sort of work with more synergy? I guess that's why we're looking for the girls. That's something that has to that we have to pay attention to. As you said, government cannot just be looking on.
That's the problem. You have expressed the problem the way it is. Nigerians are embarrassed that there is no synergy in the security infrastructure or apparatute, as it were.
Or is it that we as ordinary civilians don't understand how these things work?
What other way is it going to work? There is crisis. There are enemies over there who are fighting us. What the ordinary person wants to know or wants to hear is that we have defeated these people.
Which government has said?
Which government
has said and has had to sort of
said
partially recant
on several occasions that these people have been depleted, or they have been weakened, or they have been diminished. All those kind of terms have been used. But at the end of the day, in fact, it's like any day you say they have been diminished, they will now launch a suicide bombing that will kill 40, 50 people.
Just to say that we're still here.
To show that we are still here. In fact, on one occasion, Shekau himself had come out after the federal government said that they have been depleted. Shekau came out and said, look, it is not true. We are in full force. So, and looking at the way these attacks are being launched almost on a daily basis, and then to compound it all now, they are able, we are still expecting the return of some remaining Chibok girls. Then another one has happened, which means we are back to square one. So it leaves everybody surprised.
Well, it's surprised so much so that the National Assembly has said that, you know what, maybe we'd better set up a probe. It's asking for a probe into this whole affair, especially because, I would imagine, especially because of the messiness that seems to be. When they say they want to probe, usually you probe matters you don't understand, because I would have thought this was a straightforward abduction. What are you probing about that beyond what we have said? But if they are asking for a probe, that probably now sort of gives us an idea that they're concerned at the National Assembly as well, and that is a concern, I think, to all of us.
Well, probe as it were, probe on its own, it may be something that is taken at a point in time when it is necessary. But we have a crisis in our hand. Imagine a house is on fire, and you are setting up a probe to know who set the house on fire.
No, imagine the agencies are going about their work, but NAS, for its own part, is saying, by the way, we're going to be looking at it.
No, for me, maybe if I should, let me bring one small story from the Bible. There was a time...
One second, please. I beg your pardon for interrupting you. Please remember it. I'm going to come straight back.
Okay.
But Josephine has come on the line and wants to join the conversation.
Okay.
Good morning, Madam Josephine.
Uncle, you had a long time. Good morning.
Thank you very much for calling in. Good morning.
And your guest.
Dr. Onyekakaya.
Good morning.
Yes, we have gone back to square one.
Good.
We have gone back to square one. Those money that they have been allocating for these security people, they keep on saying that they have defeated Boko Haram. And you can see the way everywhere is porous. This country, we are living by the mercy of God. What happened to the Safe School initiative that the former administration program? What happened? Why can't our military people do something that will make sure that everybody have confidence for this government? This government said their priority is security. They should give them chance to take control of security. Chief August happened. People feel that the past administration did not do well. Look at under their nose people that claim that they have won they have won the insurgency, they have won Boko Haram. Look at what we are seeing now. I saw a very, very big. They should investigate the military. How can military go and they come in? You can see a conspiracy. You can see people working to make sure that you look at election is coming. Look at what they are doing. So we are not safe. We are not safe. So people will be only people around. So people will just come with trucks and carry people without no security. And we are paying heavily for security. They release $1 billion for security. What are they doing with the money? So people must be held accountable. We, as the ordinary citizens, can't be suffering. And how do you expect the people to react? The people, the parents, to feel that they will come and carry it? And we have people that are saddled with this responsibility to take care of the security. How would they go? You see, look, they should investigate this thing. This is a very big matter. They should not they should investigate it from the security. And how would they leave and people coming? Meaning that they are working with these Boko Haram people. The security people must be held accountable. The chief of...
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Josephine. So...
Coming back to the issue of
yes,
probing,
and maybe exactly, she brings us back to the issue of probing, because when the Army, speaking through the Deputy Director, Army Public Relations, Colonel Onyema Nwachukwu, no less, says that they handed over a, quote, peaceful and calm situation, unquote, to the police. Well, it's peaceful. It was, if it wasn't peaceful and calm, the Army wouldn't have left there. But did they understand what kind of peace and calm we had? Because people like you who comment on these matters have emphasized the aspect of intelligence. Did they not have any intelligence at all? Surely, this to understand that it's not quite time to leave yet, or I don't know, those kind of. So when the Army, speaking from the very top, is saying that we handed over a peaceful and calmful situation, to which the police is saying, nobody told us anything. We don't even know when the Army left.
That is it. You have answered the question. The Army has put up a position that we handed over to the police on the understanding that there is peace. There is relative peace or relative security in the place. On that basis, they claim to have handed over to the police. But the police has come out openly again to say, no, there was nothing like peaceful handover to us. We are not even aware that the Army...
Not about peaceful handover, but that there was peace and calm is why we handed over, because we needed to deploy our men to other pressing engagements. What I'm saying.
The police is saying that they are not even aware that the military has left that place.
At all.
So who do we believe?
Mr. Joseph, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Uncle Yaul. Please, I want to have my contribution on this program. I've been starting lately, to hear of these unfortunate this thing as regarding this 110 as was heard.
Which the parents say is actually 105, but okay. You're within your rights, because those are the figures that are out there, 105, 110.
Okay. Sir, I want to know if a military is deployed in a state, should should he notify, is the governor of the state, who is the chief executive officer, should he be aware? Shouldn't he be the first part of call? They take their own position, and if it's moving out, if the military is moving out, shouldn't they get the governor informed that they were moving out?
Okay.
If there is no conspiracy in all these things.
Okay.
Number two, looking at the trend of the way we are parading the military and every other thing, it's like we are under military regime in this nation now. And they are having a field day. They want to be having their families in everywhere. And that is why this issue of Boko Haram, I doubt it will go away. Because it's another way of the military and some terribly politicians working together to be milking this nation. Because at the end of the day, what you'll be hearing is that they want to, some people, middlemen will come, they want to negotiate, they want to negotiate, they want to negotiate. That is what will be happening. We need to do something concerning this military, return them back to the balance, equip the police force. We have the mobile people who are supposed to stand in and do all this work.
Okay, Mr. Joseph, thank you very much for calling in. There you go. Conspiracy theories beginning to rear their head. NASA said they should probe. An expert, Dr. Onalkomo, has been saying that government should set up a task force. What task force? We have the army, we have the police, but maybe those who know about these things are saying that you need a task force. The fact that they struck and took away our girls, the moment the army left the place within 2 seconds, so to speak, shows that they have some kind of intelligence. They didn't come when the army was there. The army just turned their back for a few seconds, you know, metaphorically speaking, and they were able to move in. So it means they're monitoring. They know what's going on. Now, are they not being monitored?
Now, look at this Dapchi problem now. There's a similarity between it and the Chibok abduction. If you look at this, is happening in February, almost a year to election. That of Chibok happened in April. We are April 2014. There was going to be election, 2015. Mm-hmm. Almost 12 months interval. So similarity. Now, the same way the army said they kind of secured the place and handed over to the police, and then they left, and then these people struck. The same thing happened in Chibok. The army was there, then suddenly they were withdrawn, and then the Boko Haram struck and took the girls. So why is all these similarities?
They really need to clear things up for the public.
And then in 2014, because election was coming, there was allegations or insinuations that the government of Goodluck Jonathan was being sabotaged. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you understand? Now, because of that, in fact, the government at that time didn't even believe that anybody was abducted. They didn't believe, yes. Because at a point, the government at the center was at loggerhead with the governor of Borno State, Shetima. In fact, when Shetima was later interviewed, he said it took 19 days before the federal government yes. accepted or decided to do something. And what did they do? They didn't start pursuing Boko Haram. What they did was to set up a panel to investigate whether Boko Haram really abducted some girls.
All of which former President Obasanjo brought up in his letter later on, as part of the whole mess in administration going on in the country. Let me bring in Mazi Okoroafo in Arochukwu.
Good morning, Sayuri. Good morning, our guests in the studio.
Thank you.
Speaking, Sayuri, you see, what is happening with Nigerian drones? I think they showed us on television that we have drones. What is happening? This is the work of the drones. And the military doesn't mean that they don't have the radios. That's what I mean by the capture. Because I look at the strategy that the route they followed, I was expecting Nigerian military that very day on that was to follow that route. But at the end of the day, all these stories we are talking is getting out of proportion. Because the airports they have kids, what are they waiting for? Now, what we have to take into cognizance is that when Trump went to Afghanistan, he did what they call the bombing of the whole bomb, where he spread over 300 and something bombs. If Nigerian army have done that thing when they enter Sambisa bush, I don't think all this nonsense will come, because I look at this because it's very, very happening that people will come to a school and they spend up to 4 hours and carry students who are in the school. And so even a man or someone who is sick will not believe this story. So the military, because if you say you did a handover, can they show the letter on the screen so that we believe that there was a handover? Thank you very much.
Indeed, thank you very much, Mazi Okorafor. It is a bit distressing. If you're just joining us, it's like an update on the whole Dapchi abduction affair. The police, the army is saying that it has no part in the blame going on because it left Dapchi to the authorities in a state of calm. The police say that's news to us. Nobody told us anything. We didn't even know when the army left. And so what we're looking at now is how can this be within the same state, organs of the same state not working in synergy, which takes us back to what has always been known, that our agencies don't always work together with each other. An unhealthy kind of professional rivalry, if that is what it is. But there are those who are, as you've just heard, I think the other gentleman called in, people are now beginning to come up with conspiracy theories. Why is it that we become vulnerable? So as soon as some security agency leaves, it shows that we're being watched. That's the way it looks to me as a non-professional.
And this is the second time.
And this is the second time this thing is happening.
The same thing happened.
So when are we going to learn? So I go back again, because one doesn't want to despise the police or the army. Maybe there's a lot that we don't know. I mean, we just have to put that caveat in. But it doesn't seem to us, it does look to us to be a bit sloppy, speaking as an ordinary person from the outside.
Yeah, you see, when we discuss this kind of thing here, we are talking as ordinary Nigerians. We don't know exactly the nitty-gritty of what is happening over there. From here to Maiduguri is over 800 kilometers away. It's far away. So we don't know exactly what is happening there. We are talking as Nigerians.
Yeah, we don't, but if you have information, you can't get better information than from the Directorate of Army Public Relations.
So the point is, we are relying on what they are saying.
Yes.
But the contrary is what is happening, is what we are seeing. So we are finding it difficult to reconcile what they are saying and what we are seeing.
Yakub in Dokwemu, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Chief. And then good morning to your guest. Can you hear me,
Thank
sir?
you. Thank
you.
you.
We can hear you. Thank you.
Hello?
We can hear you, Yakub.
Thank you very much. You see, Chief, to me, I give kudos to Nigeria military because in the course of trying to secure the whole country, so many of them have lost their lives. They are father of somebody. But having said that, the only area I always disagree with them is that sometimes they normally come out telling Nigerians that they have already defeated Boko Haram in some case maybe. Sometimes they will tell us that they have already taken off Camp Zero. Sometimes they will tell us that they are pursuing them wherever they are running to. I can tell you, you see, the word that you'll be able to say, I want to warn the world, is that a situation whereby the opponent is not, he don't want to die. But the situation we find ourselves, we are fighting a war whereby whether you kill them or you don't kill them or they kill themselves, they wanted to die. It is a difficult war for Nigerians. But I can tell you, if you look at U.S. and then the way U.S. is fighting the ICC, up to today, the U.S. with all the technology they have, with all the intelligence they have not been able to defeat those ICC. So Nigerian military should stop telling Nigeria that we have been defeating these people, we have already pursued them from Campus Zero and whatever, because these people are not easily to be defeated. The only thing we can do in Nigeria is that we can be able to fight them to some length so that they will not be able to strike the way they normally do before. Meanwhile, this time around, they are not be able to strike the way they normally strike before. But what happened in that school is that the question we need to ask ourselves is that why did the military leave that place before those people come in? Because there is some sabotage in the military. I can tell you that if the military hierarchy can be able to carry out information with this themselves, they will find out that there are some military people that loyally to this kind of Boko Haram, you find out. Because you cannot leave your base and then allow the enemy to come in and catch away almost 110 children. But having said that, I give kudos to the airport because I can learn that they have already deployed so many aircraft to be able to monitor where those girls are. But if they can be able to recruit these girls, I will be very happy because the paramount responsibility of President Muhammadu Buhari is that security, economics, and others. If they can be able to withdraw all these girls back from this Boko Haram, I will be very happy. They should keep on going and moving on how to get those girls back. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much for calling in, Yakub. You know, when we were on this topic, it's this week, well, today is just Tuesday, so it must have been middle of last week or something, talking about similar matter. A lady had called in and had opined that, you know what, the army should just be quiet a bit. Stop talking as much as you are talking because, you know, we're ending up with egg on our face and the first impact of the egg is on the army and then it comes on to all of us, you know, by deflection. Let them just do, let them just not. But you see, the Directorate of Army Public Relations, they know the value also of communication. So how they get it right, the balance between not letting us know what's going on and letting us know what's useful and not what will heighten apprehension. Because what do you want us to feel when, as parents, we're now getting to understand that, you know, the kids go to school every day and it is under the protection of the Lord God Almighty. If you're expecting any kind of structured, administrative, additional effort, well, just look at what the authorities are saying. And that's the big concern. We can't have a situation where both the army and the police are, quite frankly, made to look like bumbling fools.
That's the problem. You see, the problem we have at hand is that some schoolgirls are missing. And so,
again,
Nigerians are not interested in whatever anybody is saying, whether army or police. What the people want to hear is that these girls have been rescued.
Which Lai Mohammed, Minister of Information, and the presidency have said is their
topmost priority
right now.
Right now.
But these,
in fact, we should be
discordant notes.
All these discordant notes should come after. That's why I was saying, you know, anybody talking of probe now is in fact distracting the attention on the focus or the focus on the girl, on bringing the girls. So the focus should be on how to bring back these girls.
Well, yeah.
So we have another bring back
again.
Our girls.
You know, can you imagine?
That is the problem.
For the second time in
very,
very recent
we're still
memory.
Fighting, you know.
Let's go on a break, Dr. Onyekakaya.
Okay.
We'll be right back. Please, you know, don't go anywhere because we want your input as well. Maybe we'll even get, who can tell, we might even get the Directorate of, Army Public Relations to call in to maybe explain some of these things that we don't know. You know, got fingers crossed. Stay with us. Welcome back. So where are our girls? Not the Chibok girls this time, now the DapchiGirls. The president has said that it's a topmost priority to bring them all back. The Minister of Information has said that they're thinking of little else and they're not, you know, sparing any effort. And so we hope all of that goes well. And by the way, I need to correct something I said. It's not so much that the NAS has asked for a probe, but it is the opposition PDP that has asked NAS to, you know, bring on a probe. So everybody is adding what they think can be helpful to the situation. the long story short, if you're just joining us, is that there's some sort of an argument now between the army and the police in Dapchi in the northeast. Army says, we left a calm situation. Police say, that's news to us. We never knew about it. Where are we as parents, as the citizenry, where are we left but to be scratching our heads? You were going to give a biblical, sort of example before we had to interrupt you.
Yes, well, it's good you clarified this issue of probe. Since it's not the National Assembly that initiated it, good. Because I was thinking that you don't have a fight at hand. Imagine your enemies came to your family and attacked you. Then you instead of confronting them squarely, you go back into your house and you are quarreling with your brothers and sisters who should join forces to fight the enemy.
Yes.
That's what is happening between the army and the police. That shouldn't be the case. Then talking of probing, the biblical example I wanted to give is, there is this story in the Bible that, Abraham went out one day. Before he came back, his nephew Lot, enemies, the Midianites, had come and raided them and carried the women, the children, and even Lot, and a lot of property. And they went. So Abraham came. When he came, what did he do? He didn't start a probe. He mobilized men and started pursuing the enemies. So, and the story is that he got them on the way and brought back the captured. So that is what the government should do in this case.
Okay. Isiaka in Makurdi, good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in, sir.
Thank you, Uncle Yori. How is the work?
Thank you.
All right. Please, Uncle Yori, I want to ask the federal government and the military. Please, the intelligence of Boko Haram is more powerful and is more than the one of the federal government Nigerian army. How come on earth, Uncle Yori, how come on earth that the intelligence of the terrorist organization that has been fighting for years are more stronger than ours, that they know the time that the military have moved to come and strike. Therefore, means there is Boko Haram within the army that are giving the information. That's the question I'm asking myself. I'm totally disappointed with the federal government. I'm totally disappointed with President Buhari. He said he promised us security, and he will not rest until he makes sure that he defeats Boko Haram. And at the end of the look at what he's giving us, nothing has changed. It's the same scenario. I'm disappointed in his administration. Being an ex-service man, and he knows what it takes to bring those people to book. And he allowed the Qatar to go away with 110 girls. Some of them are even not adults. They are of a kind of teenagers.
Okay.
Please.
Yes.
Please, Nigeria should wake up. And I'm calling on the security agencies. Please. They are disappointing us international community's eyes.
Okay.
Because it's disgrace. Something happened 2 times, and the same thing, the same scenario, getting a year. Come on.
Okay. Thank you very much for calling in, Isiaka, to express your anguish as well, because really that's what it is. We also are saying that, look, these are the kind of natural reactions that are coming out, but I suppose we've tried to get hold of the Directorate of Public Relations. Not the easiest of things to do ordinarily, you understand, and but they just might be listening to this. Whatever clarification we could get as to how to better understand the situation, because clearly the army doesn't feel it is in any blame, and the police is saying that neither should you be looking towards our direction, and these are professional units, so they ordinarily know what they're talking about. Nobody is above mistake, as they say. But maybe the whole communication, because imagine if this information hadn't come out because it wasn't necessary for it to come out. I'm not talking about covering anything up, but look at the dimension this is adding to, the anguish that is already on the ground. Now people it seems that there are the beginnings of conspiracy theories. The gentleman, Isiaka, who, just finished speaking, said You wouldn't be surprised if they didn't have moles within the army. I think Yakub also alluded to that, and Josephine as well. There's now almost a sort of pseudo-panic as to where exactly are we in this beloved country. I just don't know what to think. Momo is on the line. Good morning, Mr. Momo.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, good morning, guys.
Yes.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah. Yori, even your guests will testify. We know what is happening in Nigeria. How would they want to bring the police into this matter? Let me tell you one thing. Have you been to Apapa? The military said they are in charge of the traffic control, where the police are there, the task force. They don't allow them to do anything. When something happens there tomorrow, they will say it's police. Why is it that when Nigeria fails, it becomes police issue? Anywhere there is military operation, would they allow police to be in charge? They don't allow police to control. So for them to be bringing in police for their failure, we have to desist from it. This is not, it has nothing to do with police at all. If they want to bring in police, because Nigeria has decided that they don't want police to work for them, is the military. An average policeman cannot ask a military man, why are you not with your service number and your name? It's only Nigeria police. That you see name on their chest and their numbers, service numbers. Because that is why when people want to carry out evil, they will put on the military uniform. Because they know police have no authority to ask them any question. So please, they know what is happening. They should not put the blame on the police.
Okay then, thank you very much, Mr. Momo. Well, and by the way, I think I do recall that I frequently see a name tag on soldiers as well, because I think he had insinuated that the police have their names and their numbers, not so the army, but even no matter how high up you are in the army, even though everybody knows who this person is, but they still have their name tag. But the other point he's making, which is that he has not seen, and he sought to use, traffic control example in Apapa as an example, that the police and the army don't always work with the best of cooperation. Be that as it may, maybe that's what was observed in Apapa, but I would have thought that the situation in the Northeast hopefully would never be like that, because that is a theater of war, and we need every man we can get. So I don't know how you see it, but just examine his point a bit, which is that how will the police do anything, and that the police is being scapegoated right now. I think they're trying to tell me someone else is on the line. Prosper in Abuja. Okay, you want to add your commentary? Please do. We're waiting for you, Prosper.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes. Uncle Yori, I appreciate your effort and in what you are doing. And I really want to say something that I'm rather really being ashamed of the whole scenario. I'm ashamed, really, as a Nigerian, that this is happening again. And one thing I don't want us to do is to try not to politicalize anything at all.
No, we're not doing that.
These are our children we are talking about here. Nobody should politicalize anything, whether the military or the police or whoever should not politicalize this issue. They should go all out and get our kids back. We have all it takes to do it. The only thing is that sometimes we become complacent, not really doing what we are supposed to do when we are supposed to do what we should do. So there is no time. All these excuses is buying of time, and the enemy will not stop.
Yes.
So the more time we wait, the more they advance their cause. So let's go and get these kids.
Indeed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling in, Prosper. Sterling advice: nobody is going to politicize a thing like this. Oh, no right-thinking member of society is going to politicize a thing like this, and nobody is doing that. He brings up the whole matter of our embarrassment, which he was...
Now, let me say this. He has, the earlier person who spoke, alluded to that. You see, the police all over the world is a civil security outfit.
Yes, yes, well known.
In other words, they work in a normal situation of, maintaining security.
Yes, internal security.
Internal security. In a state of war, is the military that should do that. And it's the military that does it. In Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, and all those places, all the crises happening in those places and the news we are receiving, they are all military operations. Now, for me, it seems, like I said earlier, that sometimes people tend to see things as if, all is well. So, especially when the government says we have depleted Boko Haram, it gives a kind of impression, maybe false impression, that all is well. Well, that may mean bringing in police at that point in time, but bringing police. But the truth is that, like you use the word, that area is theater of war, is a battlefield. I'm even personally, I'm asking, why put students in that kind of environment?
Indeed, indeed.
Why put students in that kind of environment?
Yes, but all of these are questions as to why this happened. But as people are saying, especially the last guy who called in, Prosper, yeah, but can we get to it, please, and let us hear about progress being made towards getting our girls back. Understandably that people think like that. But let me add, let me bring in Samson. Hello, Mr. Samson in Wari.
Good morning, Chief Dr. Wari. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, guests in the studio.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Sir, let us check something like this. It's very simple. Everything has to be based on fundamental rights. Can you please tell me the number of soldiers that we have? I don't think anybody can give us. All of us always say we have over 300,000 policemen.
Okay.
Good. Out of 300,000 policemen, 221 are being attached to a governor. And the governor of 36 states. Just try and let us get the figure out. Then, not to all these companies, all those something. Sir, if you have to check this thing very well, in our balance here in Wari, we have enough army. The same thing at Onitsha. You see some army, between civilians, all those ones. See, the only thing I think they should do now, they should reshuffle. Because let me tell you, there is no smoke without fire. There are some of them in the midst. I had a friend, I had plenty of army friends. They said if they want to win this Boko Haram, they should reshuffle. They have a lot of, come to barracks here in Wari. You will think it's like a family house. A lot of army doing nothing. Sitting on that tree, playing chess, playing Ludo. I'm telling you, I'm very close to that domain. So they should try and reshuffle. Sir, if they don't reshuffle, they are still doing the same thing. And nothing Nigerian police can do because they are undercount. Most of them are working with popular men, our politicians, our big men, our governors. The governor have 221. See what I'm saying? So the only solution now we are looking for is that let them reshuffle them. Please, they have a lot of them. Stubborn armies are here. You want to come and see them. You run. Take them off from Jeddah. Get them off.
Thank you very much, Samson, coming from Wari. Any comments? Do you have any comments?
Yes, what he's saying is that this war, Boko Haram war, has lingered since 2009. Maybe he's not supposed to have taken that length of time.
At all.
He shouldn't have. So why is it lingering like that? And then why is it that at a point we thought that, things are getting better. The government is taking the upper hand, the military is taking the upper hand. Mm-hmm. Then another big attack, a big blow happens like this.
Exactly.
Which brings us to square one, as I said initially.
Mm-hmm.
So where do we go from there?
That's how Josephine started out, saying that we're back to square one.
We're back to square one. So they bring back our girls for Chibok. Don't you see they have gotten more tasks now?
In fact, okay, let me quickly bring on Larry from Idonre. Good morning, Larry.
Yeah, good morning, Uncle Yori, and good morning to you.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you. Good morning.
I noticed that the president needs to get some things right. I am a chronic supporter of President Buhari, and I believe in the two aspects. He doesn't have excuse to fail, especially the anti-corruption and the war against insurgency. Someone like me, as a youth, we champion his cause in this state, in the state, and we still believe that we can still champion his cause. But you should not allow enemy to overrun his government. But it's lacking some fundamental thing. Any reform that you want to carry out without critically look at police, without critically reforming the police, it will be a nullity. Because even anything at all, there's no local government that you don't have DPO or police station. So the mandate should be given to Commissioner of Police. Buhari should have a means of having attitude of removing people that are not performing. For example, somebody like President Obasanjo would have removed the Commissioner of Police. In front of you need scapegoating these people. Then the service chiefs, the chief of army staff, chief of defense staff, and I think these people they've given their best. And sometimes when you give your best, like economies, when you reach an elastic limit, there's nothing you can do. So you need to bring new blood, fresh blood. Even this bringing new people, promoting new people, we motivate the men under them to do more. Because when they do more, they have the belief and orientation that they can be promoted. But retaining one person, even the person had reached the retirement age, you still retain him. It is not good for the system. And the president, even the Inspector General of Police, is the chairman of Governor Forum says he does not have confidence in him, and there was attack in Zamfara. The governor of Venezuela does not have confidence in him. But most of the
Larry,
we can conclude that most of the governor doesn't have confidence in him.
Larry,
so I don't know what the president is doing with him.
Larry,
I'm with you.
Did you hear when a viewer called in to say, leave the police out of this? Yes. Don't scapegoat the police. It's only when things go wrong, you now start talking about the police. Did you hear that? And what's your comment?
Yes, the person has a very good point. However, what is the role of police?
Okay.
Police is to maintain security and order. The army don't need to inform them that they handed over to them.
But it's a war zone.
The army assisting them to do their function. It was because of the failure of the police. That's why army is involved in internal security.
Okay.
Army were trained for external security. So when army is leaving, it's the role of the commissioner of police to hold forth. They don't have excuse. They should do their job. In Nigeria these days, the commander-in-chief need to go and do your work before they do their work. Look at the people selling fuel at the rate of 100 naira, 200 naira, 180. This is the role of the civil defense and police to ensure that the law is obeyed. It is NNPC only that is importing fuel. And NNPC is telling us that any station that is having fuel in Nigeria, they are giving them at the rate of 131 naira. So the people selling at 180 means that they are sabotaging Nigeria. And Nigeria police, Nigeria civil defense, GSS, ought to do their work without being propelled.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Larry, for calling in. Okay, that's Larry's take on the matter. But as you pointed out, the Northeast actually is at war.
At war.
And that's the part that Larry is...
ignoring.
Well...
has not recognized.
He's not, giving it full value. He's saying that it's within our territory. And I think Larry's analysis is that, therefore, the police have to be up and doing. That's how Larry sees it. But the police, I think most people understand, cannot actually contain the situation. But that's not Larry's conclusion.
You see, let me, I've said this before.
I beg your pardon. Let me take, a military professional, albeit retired. Okay. Good morning, General Alabi Isama.
That's good.
Thank you, Yori. Thank you, Yori.
I am happy. Are you with me?
Yes, we can hear you, General.
I am very happy that you have that gentleman with you there. It's making a great sense.
Thank you.
Look, I am so unhappy. I've never called on telephone before to a television.
Really?
The country is traumatized. The army and the police are tired, particularly the police. Look, all you need to do, once you have an operation, whatever, which you already have in that area, it's a joint task force. In the operational commander center, there will be the police, the DSS, all the intelligence, everybody will be in that headquarters. Everybody will report to that headquarters. Army handing over to the police, there is a complete nonsense. In an operation like that, even if you are handing over to the police, the joint task force, there will be police and the army at the roadblock. Look, you have roadblock from Lagos to Ilorin, about 15 of them. You have roadblock from Port Harcourt to Enugu, another 15 of them. Is that a war zone? Don't you have a checkpoint in that area? And if it's a quiet area, that it means there is no war going on there. The Boko Haram people will not be in an area where you are fighting. They will go to an area which is peaceful. And don't you have a governor there that is collecting security votes? Don't you have local government chairman and senators collecting constituency allowance? You had 1 million to fight Boko Haram. How much did Boko Haram vote to fight the army? The Boko Haram now have the initiative.
Yes.
They have the initiative. It's the intelligence you need. You need to help the police, not blame the police. You have drone,
General,
which you say you have just commissioned. Jonathan commissioned another drone before. Why will you say they are commissioning a new drone?
Okay.
Look, the whole area, the country is traumatized, for God's sake.
General,
come back home from abroad, and it is so sad that this story is all over the world.
Yes.
That Nigeria is so incompetent and inefficient.
Oh dear. Oh dear. General, I wonder what you think of.
Thank you.
General, are you still there? I think that's Brigadier General Alabi Sama, retired.
Yes.
So.
I wonder what you think of. Hello.
Oh, General, you're still there.
I hope I'm with you.
Yes,
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, General. The whole point about what intelligence the army is using to withdraw when it withdrew, without knowing that these guys were going to strike the moment they turned their back. I don't know what you think about the quality of intelligence that the army is using.
Look, that gentleman with you there made a mention of a verse in the Bible. If you read my book, that verse is also in the Bible. That's the complete strategy. The intelligence that the army will use is the intelligence that is the intelligence of the police, which Obasanjo cancelled in 1978, called the E branch. I hope they still have the E branch. They have the DSS chasing Torokobo because somebody stole money. And look, you need more intelligence. You need to help the police for the police to help the army.
Okay.
You cannot put radio in Dapchi, because if you give to the Muslims, some of the Boko Haram are Muslims. If you give to the Christians, the story will leak out. The DSS and the intelligence of the country must help the police.
All right.
Help the police.
Okay.
And the army commander has a theater who will have an operation area, and that command post will have everybody in there. Intelligence will come every day from each city. Every day from each city.
General, we've completely run out of time, but I want to thank you very, very much for calling in on the program. Thank you very much. That's Brigadier General Godwin Alabi Isama, retired, who called in and has actually rounded off our program. Well, thank you very, very much, Luke. that was a sort of a nice place to end it with a commentary on the military and how it is doing. Thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's our program. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folari. Bye-bye for now.